Hi everyone, this is daveac and this is my vblog 198 for Friday the 4th of May 2012. But I can't say may the 4th be with you because I'm recording this on Saturday the 5th. Now there isn't a reason for that. First of all, the force wasn't really with me yesterday, and today I also was going to a Manchester wine fair and I wanted to include talking about that in today's show. There will of course be a wine at the end, or with under 15 minutes. But we have got podcasts, books and wine taking up all of today's show. Well, one of the podcasts that I was on, it's not what I run or anything, it's just what I enjoy going on every Friday night, and that's Radio Free Canelin's Friday Night Quiz. Particularly enjoyed it last night because Ian the Sixth Doctor, my co-host on the Culton Collective, was the quizmaster. So you can find that on TalkShoe ID 72402, or of course on iTunes. With the Culton Collective, we were busy. Last Sunday, the 29th of April, was episode 148, Best Retorts in Sci-Fi and Fantasy. A little bit shorter than our usual shows, only about an hour and 20 minutes, but I hope you will enjoy it. Now, this last week that's gone, we haven't done any midweek show, so the next show that will be up on the feeds will be the one we do on Sunday, the 6th of May, episode 149, and that is Best Classic Doctor Who Moments. Now, that might be a little bit ambiguous. What we mean is looking at classic Doctor Who, which are our favourite memorable moments. There's no way we're going to cover them all, but hopefully we'll have a good stab at that, and that will be on TalkShoe ID 54821 at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on TalkShoe, and of course you can find it on iTunes later. But tonight, I've got to get myself sorted out from my lovely afternoon because Ian and myself are doing an interview. I don't say who it is at the moment because we want it to be a surprise in a way, but if you really want to find out, go to a site called broadwcast.org. That's BROADWCAST.org. Won't say anything more than that, but that will be one, hopefully, that won't take too much editing after we've done it tonight, that is, hopefully successfully, and will be on the feeds maybe in the next week. And that also reminds me that we've got another studio show in the offing. We're hoping to interview, I should have said, by the way, the other clue to this writer is that they have written a book called Time Link. You'll have to look it up if you want to know. So the next little studio effort that we've got in, we're just having a break from our commentaries at the moment, is an interview with the editors of The Mythological Dimensions of Neil Gaiman. And that, of course, is Anthony Burge, Jessica Burke and Christine Larson. And indeed, Mike of Radio Free Camelin will be helping me on that interview, possibly someone else as well. And we will try and get to that certainly before the end of this month. So I've got to do some reading for that. But I have also, because it's about Neil Gaiman, got to do some other reading. And today, when I was in Manchester, picked up this book, Neil Gaiman Neverwhere. And it says author's preferred text. So there's obviously been more than one version of that. And look at that, William Gibbs at the bottom says, a writer of rare perception and endless imagination. And I want to thank Steve at Waterstones in the Arndale Centre for recommending this as probably a good starter book for me to get into the style of Neil Gaiman. So I've got that to read. I've got Mythological Dimensions to read. And I also must get round to getting that book, Time Link. According to Galaxy 4, it's an indispensable book for people interested in Doctor Who. So, in actual fact, I think it's in two books. Yes, it's two separate books. Time Link, the unofficial and unauthorised guide to continuity in Doctor Who. So you can see I've got a lot of reading to do. But I've been actually quite busy today because I went to this event in Manchester. And where's the little piece of paper? They're all here. Here it is. There. I've been to that event, the Northwest Spring Wine Fest, and it was at St Peter's Church, Ancoats, that's in the northern quarter of Manchester. It goes on again tomorrow. This is a deconsecrated church, which is like now a venue centre, not completely finished the renovation, but we paid £10, went with my friend Jack, and we had a good afternoon there. 30 odd to 40 wines we tasted, and picked up lots of different leaflets from the event, and made some notes about the wine, found out about some wine tasting courses and so on. I have just put up one twit pic on my Big and Fruity twit pic. Remember, I do my wine podcast on Tuesdays, every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on TalkShoe ID 112272. So using that twit pic page, I put up the picture of my favourite wine, and I'll tell you that it was Chocolate Box, a Shiraz from the Barossa Valley. And let me just say that is the TwitPic page is twitpic.com 9HOEO4, and the letters are all in small case. One more time, twitpic.com /9HOEO4. And actually, the strangest thing was that this, the best wine I tasted, it was $13.99, by the way. It was on the stall that was actually for a beer society and club, but they had some wines on as well. So really very, very nice tasting wine indeed that was. Okay, let me mention one more thing, and that is it probably doing this before you listen to this or watch this vlog, but also on Sunday I've got another podcast I'm helping with, and that is Russell Hale, who has his very famous Ramble with Russell podcast, and he is coming up to his 300th episode. So what he's doing is another of his live episodes that will be going out on TalkShoe. The TalkShoe ID for that is 18411, and that will be live on Sunday the 6th of May at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is the 300th episode of Ramble with Russell. And if you want to listen back to some of his early ones, then they are at this place. It's a Libsyn address, and it's ramblingrus.libsyn.com, and there you can see all the 299 episodes that have preceded it, and he has some really good stuff there. He goes to lots of events, interviews people at various comic cons and so on, and he manages to get talking to some really good quality guests. So looking forward to being on that, and let's see if there's any information I can give you about it. Yes, we're hoping that there will also be Dr. Rebecca Housel on the call, who knows quite a lot about vampires and other things in that fantasy genre. So hope you will give that a listen on Sunday. I may even come on live if you've watched this vlog in time. Okay, I'm going to go straight to the wine at the 9-minute mark, and I'm looking forward to this because it's one of my Zinfandels, one of the American wines I like. I've not had this particular one before. It's Jack Tone Ange Zinfandel, California 2010. Look at that, 14.5% freeze frame. Let me put that there. Freeze frame, and I am really looking forward to this. Not poured a great deal out. As I say, I've been drinking all afternoon, so I'm just having this very small taste, and I'm going to save most of that, I think, for Sunday's podcast. Oh, and we've got lots of rich, dark bramble on the nose. Definitely blackcurrant and bramble on the nose. Lovely. You know, I do like Zinfandel. Next to Shiraz, I think Zinfandel is one of my favourite. I probably don't drink it as often as Shiraz, but it is really, really nice. Of course, they've got a lot of alcoholic heat coming through that with 14.5%. In fact, you can get some big Zins that can be 15.5%. And I'm getting just a lot of dark, jammy plum flavours coming through there. Let me just have a little look what it says. I'm just going to lose my little glass here. Historic Californian horse breeding farm dating back to the mid-19th century. Today his legacy of wines are such that the scarlet-coloured Zinfandel Reserve, whose intense bramble fruit, subtle spice and vanilla oak flavours are the perfect partner with pasta, fresh potato and cured meats. I agree with that. It's very, very nice. Let's give it another little... There we are. Look at that. I can hardly stand the bottle up straight. Very, very nice indeed. Now, we're only at 11.5 minutes, but I think I'll probably bring the video to a close at that point. I didn't want to really branch out. I noticed some things on tech. Of course, Firefox has gone to version 12 with beta 13 out. There's the 16th Webby Awards to look out for if you're interested on things like that. And I think BBC won one of those. And look out for a new online place called The Space, particularly if you're in the UK, where there's going to be free arts and video content, and that is called thespace.org. And that may even be out on satellite on a specialist channel. So I'm going to take one more sip of my Jack Tone Ranch Zinfandel and say I hope the force was with you, and remember, try and join us on the Cultdom, if not this Sunday, any future Sundays. So one last taste. Lovely. Thank you to the Manchester Northwest Wine Fest, and remember, that is still on tomorrow. £10 for your ticket. Bye all. Thank you again for watching.